for joining me today for this square pose tutorial. Square pose is a wonderful hip opener that's great for those of us who find ourselves sitting for most of the day, for those of us who know that we have tight hips. So before we begin, please make sure you have, some folded blankets, some small blankets that you can fold nearby, or small pillows. You can also use blocks as well, and I would also suggest starting by sitting against the wall, allowing the wall to support your back as we work on this pose. So let's go ahead and begin. So I like to get into this pose starting with the soles of the feet on the mat or on the ground. From there, I would cross the ankles. This time I'm crossing the left ankle underneath the right. I'm going to allow that left leg, just so that left knee, drop open to the side. As you can see, there's a little bit of space between the mat and my knee here. So I'm going to use a blanket to support that area, just so I don't have to worry about holding the knee up. Okay. I'm also going to make sure that the shin is parallel to the front of the mat here. I'm just going to scoot my leg forward just slightly. See how that feels. I'm also going to make sure that my back is still supported. Make sure that lower back is supported by the wall. The next step here is to allow that other knee to start to drop open. See how that feels on the hips. Is there any tightness or any pain or any tingling of the knee? I would lift it back up and stop there. We can just work one leg at a time. See how that feels. And if that feels okay, I'm gonna move this leg in just a little bit so this right leg is right on the outside of this right hip. And then we'll see if it feels okay to bring the opposite foot on top of that left leg. So now I have my right foot on top of that left knee. And as you can see here, there is a lot of space. And I'll back up for a second. If this is a bit too much, I would suggest placing that foot in front. You can always support this leg using another blanket or another block. We can just work there first. Work on those hips right here. Now, if it felt okay to place that right foot on top of the left knee, you can do so. Just support. If there is any space here, you can see there's a lot of space here for me. You can place a blanket or you can place a block or two underneath the knee to support it. You want to make sure your body is nice and comfortable here. Making sure you're not gripping, you're not pulling, you don't feel any pain, just a slight stretch. You want the body to relax. You want to be able to focus back on the breath. So once you have your comfortable position in square pose, I should also mention that this top shin, we're trying to make sure that it is also parallel to the front of the mat as well. So our spine is nice and straight. Our knees, our legs are supported. And once we are nice and comfortable, then you can bring the attention back to the breath. Maybe close the eyes. And for now, we can take a couple deep breaths in, allowing the body to relax, allowing the muscles to start to relax. Fascia between the muscles, stretch gently. You can stay here 3 to 5 minutes or 3 to 5 breaths. Just make sure you're nice and comfortable and supported. So whenever you are ready, start to slowly get out of this pose. Maybe anything that's holding the body up. Legs, you can either straighten the legs out, gently shake them out, or you can windshield wiper the legs, placing the soles of the feet on the ground. Just windshield wiper the legs. They're about hip width distance apart here. Knees from side to side. Nice. And then we'll go to the other side. Again, we're starting with the soles of the feet on the mat. We're just gonna cross the opposite ankle. So I'm crossing my right ankle underneath my left, allowing that right knee to drop over. I'm gonna shimmy that foot towards so it's either right in line with that left hip or maybe right outside of it. I'm trying to make sure that shin is parallel to the front of the mat. Again, you can see this knee is dangling a bit, so I'm going to place a blanket underneath to support it. And then I'm gonna start to move this other leg. So first I'll see how it feels to just keep that foot in front of the leg as I drop the knee open. If it doesn't feel great, I can always place block underneath the foot, a little bit more comfortable. Or you can try placing the foot on top of the opposite knee, seeing how that feels in the body. And if you have that space here between the knee and the foot, you want to place something underneath so that you can support the body. For me, the blanket is not enough, so I'm going to place a block, maybe two. Yeah, there we go. Underneath to support the knee. My back is supported by the wall. I don't have to worry about keeping it up. And I'm supported and I'm comfortable. Feel a little bit of stretch in the hips. And the support allows me to start to relax and focus on the breath. So again, you can take 3 to 5 breaths here. You close the eyes. Or if you're doing this on your own time, you can stay here for 3 to 5 minutes. Coming out of the pose whenever you are ready. Remove the props you have there. You want to support the legs when you're coming out of the pose. Just went through a pretty deep stretch. About hip width distance apart. Windshield wiper. The legs. And that is our square pose. Thank you so much for joining me today for this tutorial, and I hope to see you next time. Have a great rest of your day.